What's up, y'all? It's your girl Nick Robinson with the R Effect, and so we're just gonna jump right in to this Married to Medicine reunion, season 11, part two. Okay, so we see where the ladies are wrapping up their segment. I'm this year so eager to get to the men's segment because we see where Dr. G and King have not seen each other since the sandbar. They have not seen each other since the sandbar, y'all. So who knows what either one of them are feeling. Did anyone else notice how they had Dr. G sequestered to his own room? Only him and Sweet Tea are, I guess, allowed in that room. All the other men are sitting there chilling together. King said, well, Dr. G said he needed extra security. So I guess if you're the one with the problem, then you would not be the one amongst the rest of the men, I guess. We see production come in saying they was taking extra security measures, and he didn't even know. Like, they didn't even give him a heads up or anything. None of the guys knew that Dr. G was going to be like off to himself. But I guess that's what you do, or that's what production does when they're trying to like keep things down because they don't know how these men are going to act. Okay, you see where the men are saying to King, we don't think it's you that he has a problem with or what have you. It's unresolved issues with Quad. They were saying that they don't think he is really even in the mix like that. At the end of the day, it's like this. Um, we all see who has the problem with it. You know what I mean? Because like at least last season when Sweet Tea came on, Quad wasn't so unhinged that they couldn't be in the same space at the same time. It wasn't until this season that we see where people are staggered, people are sequestered to themselves. It's just odd. You know what I mean? So yeah, the ladies finish up what they talking about or whatever. Um, I'm gonna move on to the men, and then I may go back to the ladies. So the men come out there, and right out the gate, we talking to Dr. G and Dr. Damon about their fallout or whatever. Dr. Damon didn't hold no words. I mean, he just came out and said what he said. And you could tell that he was being truthful in what he was saying. And Dr. G really didn't have nothing to say. I mean, he was just like caught in whatever happened. And of course, not necessarily taking any accountability, because Dr. Damon said that Dr. G was like, I'm not taking your patients, and it's just like, wow. So as a medical professional, I have a mental illness or I need a psychiatrist. And I hear you saying, like, I'm too much. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it came off. It's like, okay, you can't handle the patients that he has. So anybody that's been a patient of Dr. Damon's and then been referred to Dr. G, I would be like, so what is he talking about me? Like, how is that supposed to make somebody feel confident in your level of care as a professional? Expand your office. Get some partners, something, but don't say that the patients were too high maintenance. How is that supposed to make a patient feel? And honestly, do I agree with what Dr. Heavenly said about him, as a medical professional? I do not. I don't think that anybody should be on there to tear down anybody else's practice. If you feel like something is wrong with somebody's practice or whatever, then you don't air that on television because you are potentially hurting that person's business. I don't agree with that. But what he said in that moment to me hurts his business because you basically saying you're not equipped, you don't have the bandwidth, you don't know how to solve a problem that you may be having with your own office. So how is that going to build confidence in your patient care and in your ability to be the professional that people need? You see, I mean, he should have come up with something better. Like, you know what? I didn't have the bandwidth to continue to take the patients. I'm working on expanding something. He doesn't understand how to, I ain't saying BS his way through, but what I'm saying is if you really felt like the patients were too much of a load on you and you're doing it by yourself, no one's mad at that. But what is the solution for that? It is not to tell him I ain't taking no more of your patients, especially when you are in the middle of a beef with this same doctor based on what your wives have said and done to each other and then dragged you out in it. And I mean, I have to say that I'm trying to be objective in the situation and trying to understand both sides because I feel like it's worth it to understand both sides and both perspectives. Heavenly was wrong for saying what she said about Dr. G, about his practice, because if he's not a pedophile, okay, and if he is respected in the medical community, those words shouldn't have come out her mouth. And that's why I feel like sometimes the back and forth is just not good to get into. I get it that it was in retaliation to what Letitia had said about her, but you tearing down her husband is really, I mean, it's just taking it a step too far. If y'all got a beef, okay, keep it between y'all. Don't bring the husbands in, because you don't want nobody bringing your husband into anything. And so I would say to Dr. Heavenly, you have to give what it is you want in return. If you attack somebody's husband, then somebody's going to attack your husband, period. I mean, like, that's just common sense. You know what I mean? And I don't believe that, you know, what Dr. G was saying. I ain't gonna say I don't believe him. What I'm saying is Dr. Damon called him on it. And when he didn't have anything to say, he didn't want to outright lie. He was like, whatever, Damon, you got it, you got it. And it's like, no, if it's not true, then say it's not true. But he couldn't say that. You know what I mean? Do I agree with Dr. Damon about what he was saying to Dr. G about, you know me, your wife doesn't know me? Yes, I do. I do. Because at the end of the day, Dr. G, you can't do what you want Dr. Damon to do. You should have told your wife, listen, don't talk about Dr. Damon. I work with this man. You know what I mean? Like, don't bring him in it. And he didn't. Just like Dr. Damon didn't tell Dr. Heavenly, don't bring Dr. G in it. So y'all both are having to understand how it's hitting off. You know what I mean? I hope that they can get to a better place, because for all these years they've been friends. I mean, like, it's a difficult dynamic when you have a spouse that's added with your friend's spouse. It's not easy. This whole dynamic is not easy. That's why as a whole, like I said before, if Dr. G have been friends with these men even after leaving the show, he could have still been friends with these men after leaving the show and not coming on the show. I just feel like him and Letitia coming on the show has not been good for them as a collective. It has not. It has not benefited them to, as you know, in my eyes, coming on the show. In the end, you have a situation where you on TV talking about how you can't service patients. Oh Lord, why didn't he think of something else to say? Because if I were a patient, that's how I would feel. And then there are other patients that may feel like, well, it is just one person, you know what I mean? But they need care, they need help. And if they're trusting Dr. Damon, okay, and Dr. Damon is recommending this person, then that could have ramifications as well. So that whole thing was just really tough to watch, because at the end of the day, show or not, that's your business, that's your practice, that's your profession. You know what I mean? So you have to be mindful of that. I mean, we all as people understand that we have a professional side and we have a personal side. Me personally, seeing how he's not able to resolve conflict, seeing how he talks to his wife, seeing how, you know, he's handling this situation with Dr. Damon, and saying that, you know, he can handle his patients. Like, it just wouldn't sit well with me if I were, you know, a patient. So kudos to Dr. Damon for saying this as well, saying nothing your wife can say can tear me down. He's confident in who he is as a man. He's confident in who he is as a doctor. You understand what I'm saying? So I give him kudos for that, because let's be honest, if somebody were lying on you and saying untrue things about you, if it's untrue and you know it's untrue, it's not going to tear you down. It's like, that's a lie. And I don't even have to explain a lie. Okay? So I get that. You know, do I feel that the ladies need to stop bringing the drama to their husbands? Absolutely. Y'all got to stop this husband stuff. Y'all got to stop it, and stop it now. I give kudos to Dr. Heavenly for apologizing to Letitia again, because she had apologized to her. And she said, you know, I'm sorry, and I don't have an issue with sweet tea. And she said, okay, I receive it. Now, Dr. Heavenly, please don't say nothing else. Letitia, don't say nothing else. Because honestly, as the season went on, you saw that they really didn't have nothing. Okay, they did their worst in the first season that Letitia then was on there, and as the season plays out this season, you see that they really didn't have much going on. It became more about Quad and Gregory, and then by extension, Letitia and King. Okay, so um Andy is shady. He was sitting there talking about how, are the guys going to be in a band together, just trying to lighten the mood. I feel I am with Dr. Eugene in saying, please don't. Okay, please don't, because by the time you put Scott and Dr. G on, Dr. Scott and Dr. G on the mic, I can't. And we see in the preview that he actually get up there and perform that song. If they don't leave us alone with this song, okay, if they don't leave us all the way along with this song, I'm not gonna fall for it. Okay, you can't play it over and over again and think that I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, I had to hear it again for like the fifth time before I got it. No, leave us alone with this song. Get out of our faces with this song. I guess they were being fair because they did let Dr. Scott get up there and do his little thing a few seasons ago, which, okay, we could have done without that as well. I'm not being biased, okay, because neither one of them, I feel, have the skill set. But they need to stick to their respective professions of being doctors, because, Lord have mercy, that little song. Okay, that little song is crazy. I don't like how Dr. G was laughing in the midst of what Dr. Damon was saying. That's not cool. And if you look at the other men's faces, they were like, no. So let's take it to the ladies while they were watching the men. They were giving Greg a hard time back there. And Letitia really couldn't. I mean, how can you defend what he was saying? And I'm a woman that's married, and I'm for my man. Period. I'm for my man, right? But how can you defend a doctor saying that he's admitting basically that he was inadequate to take a certain subset of patients, the same patients that's come from a man he having a beef with? I mean, how can you defend that? Especially when he has no rebuttal to Dr. Damon saying, you said you said you wasn't taking my patients. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh my God. Okay, so let's move on. We see this is where the fight erupts in between, Dr. Simone and and Quad. It's just unfortunate because I mean, Dr. Simone seems to have moved on from what she felt like when Quad wasn't there, but then she brings it back up again. I mean, like, is it her inability to move on? Because everybody knows that Dr. Simone holds a grudge forever and a day. Okay, because look at how long it took her and Dr. Jackie to get back on speaking terms, and they still have never been the same. Okay, and they were friends for 20 years. All right. So is it her inability to move on? Because we thought that they had moved on, right? We thought they had resolved it. Everything was done. And we hear her saying, everything you got is karma. So that leads me to believe that her embracing Letitia, hanging out with Greg, was all done out of spite. It was all done out of spite initially. I ain't saying that she don't care about Letitia now. I think she does. But initially, it was to get at Quad. And if I were Letitia, I would have taken offense to that. Like, oh, so the only reason you was even embracing me and hanging out with me is to get under her skin? You see what I'm saying? Like, did she even catch that? I would have caught it. Like, you sitting right there. Did you hear it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how she feels about that part of it. I don't know if we get to that part of it, but I would have been offended. Like, dang. I mean, like, the whole intention of you reaching out to me was to get under this girl's skin because you had a problem with her. All the ladies had a problem with her. And so all of them, you know what I'm saying, reached out to this girl and got them to come on the show because we saw the text message evidence of what Dr. Heavenly did. She didn't put Dr. Simone and the rest of them on blast because she had a problem with Dr. Heavenly at the time, Sweet Tea did. So, I mean, they played a nasty, mean game of let's get under Quad's skin. Because, again, like I said, they just bothered by Quad I feel like when I think about it, because I've been a fan since beginning of the series, like the whole start of it. I feel that Dr. Simone has had a problem with Quad ever since, and I don't know if this was season 2, but when she got that endorsement with BCBG and she brought them out to California and she was doing all these things and her life was opening up at that time, I believe that that was the seed that was planted as far as the jealousy for Quad that Dr. Simone has. I'm sorry. Like, I hate to say that she's jealous of Quad, but what else could it be? I don't feel like Quad did anything to her for her to be so nasty and ugly to her, to bring on this woman's ex-husband and his new wife. What happened? We still don't know. We still have not heard. I want to know. You know what I'm saying? What did that girl do to you? What did she do to you? Honestly. If it's not jealousy, somebody tell me, what did she do to Dr. Simone? I want to know, because I'm puzzled by it, because to me it's giving jealous. And ever since that moment, Quad has only like went up as far as her professional life, as far as her money. You know, she got a divorce from Dr. G, and now she's happy with her man. You know, he's happy with her. You know, what is it? I would like to know. Please tell me. So let's go back to Dr. Mimi making her appearance on the show as her first time. She looked beautiful. Her dress was amazing. Even the ladies were like, ooh, you know, she just kind of brightened up the set when she came on. And I love her diagnosis of each lady. She hit it on. She hit it spot on. She hit it spot on. Honestly, she did. So at the end of the day, I just really, really want there to be resolution between Quad and Dr. Simone. We hear Dr. Simone saying, when has she been around when there's not been a camera? You know what I mean? We don't know, okay, because when they are not filming, we don't really know what's going on in their lives unless they post it. But honestly, let's think about this. Dr. Simone has, of all the ladies that's been there, like, you know, Toya, Simone, Jackie, Heavenly, that's the Fab Five, right? She was coming at Quad the most, along with Toya. As we can see, Toya is off that bandwagon. Toya is off of it. One thing that I do like about Toya is that when she says she's done with something, she's done with it. We haven't seen Toya coming for Quad, saying anything about Quad. Like, she just have kept it real. And I got to give it to Toya. Clap it up for her. Because let me tell you something. I wasn't sure about Toya for a while. She's grown a lot. Toya has matured a lot. And I love to see it. Dr. Simone, on the other hand, is gripped by whatever this feeling is she has for Quad. She cannot let it go. We see earlier on the couch where they were fine. They were good. And then Simone just escalated. Like, I don't even know why she escalated on Quad. I mean, maybe I need to go back and watch it again. But I'm sitting here like, okay. And Quad is asking her, like, why did you get mad? Why did you get mad? We all want to know, why did she get mad? What is she mad at? Dr. Simone, you cannot have this much venom for somebody, this much vitriol for somebody, and not say where it's coming from. What is it? So I hope they get to that. I hope Andy asks about why Dr. Simone feels the way she feels. You can't just keep saying she gave us her ass a kiss. She's made atonement for that. You guys moved past that, or so we thought. And if you have not moved past that, just say that. Just say, you know what? I'm still hurt because I felt X, Y, and Z. And I said I was good, but I'm not. If she's not saying that, I need to hear a real reason, because it's baffling to me. I don't understand it. They have gone over and over and over this again and again and again. And it's not making any sense. Okay, so, you know, Dr. Eugene is forever trying to keep the peace. And I appreciate him for that. He's trying to point out to both men where they can be better, as far as Dr. Damon and Dr. G. Like Andy said, they may have a lunch in their future. I hope so. When the men first sat down, Andy was asking King and Dr. G to shake a hand. That's not happening. Let me tell you why it's not going to happen. Because, and any man can admit this, no man wants to see their ex-wife with a new man. Period. Period. They don't. They don't. My ex-husband and my new husband, I don't like when they cross paths. I don't. It makes me uncomfortable. So I could not imagine the situation that they're in. I cannot imagine. Okay? It's too much. However, with that being said, sir, why did you bring your new wife? Because see, he didn't have the guts to come on the show without Letitia. He didn't. Say what you want to say, but he didn't. Okay? He didn't. And I feel that they should have stayed off the show. That's just my opinion. People want to say Quad isn't married to medicine, and she's not. However, she's been on the show. She's been on the show. There's no hard and fast rule about being a real housewife and being on the show. I don't know why they try to do that with Married to Medicine. It's plenty of women that's housewives. You brought on a brand new housewife on Atlanta that's in the midst of divorce. A brand new, and I'm talking about Kelly. Brand new. I can understand them bringing Portia back. Portia has been on the show for seasons and seasons. You know, they were rebooting. They needed some people that, you know, the audience gravitate towards. Portia is one of those people. So why is it a hard and fast rule for Married to Medicine that you have to be married and in medicine? I get it that, you know, that's the premise of the show. But when you have somebody that's been on there for seasons, okay, they're not just going, child, they're not going to get rid of that girl. I mean, she's too polarizing. Like I said, she brings too much. She brings eyes to that show. She brings interaction to that show. She brings comments to that show. Like, they're not, she'd have to mess up real bad with production, I feel, for them to get rid of her. That's what I see. That's what I believe. Based on a comment that Dr. Heavenly put on somebody's post, they starting to film next month in April, I believe. I would love to see, you know, who's coming, what's going to happen. Like, it's crazy, right? I just need to see what the results of this whole fight is. I need to see what interaction King and Dr. G is going to have, because honestly, Dr. G is in the hot seat. Y'all, he in the hot seat. Because he's had a problem with Damon, huge problem with King, and like it or not, the men are siding with King on their dispute because they feel like something had to be said. And like King said, I do agree with him when he said that he has a familiarity with speaking to Quad like that. But not while he's around. He's not going to have it. And I can't be mad at him for that. Who can be mad at King for that? He didn't say anything except you owe her an apology for that. Because you don't need to be speaking to any woman like that. I don't know what kind of interaction a lot of these women are accepting, but let me tell y'all something. If y'all are comfortable with a man talking to y'all any kind of way, that's something y'all need to get out of right now, because it shouldn't happen, period. But y'all tell me what y'all think. I mean, you know, I'm eager to see the conclusion. I wish they would have just showed it all. Can we just have like a whole special where that y'all just block out the time for this type of reunion? Because I'm like, can we get to the last part to see how this stuff resolves? I mean, it's a good cliffhanger, but yeah, I'm impatient. Okay, I want to know what happens. So, you know, like, comment, subscribe, share all the good things. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. You know, on to the third part next week. I'll see y'all then. Bye.